friends, welcome back to Black Coffee and Grits. I'm Lisa. It's day 987 of January. Are you with me? It's been the longest month of my life. We have been productive in crafting. We as in me. I have been having a good old time living my best crafty life. We had a snowstorm, which didn't really include much snow. It was a lot of sleet and ice, and so we were trapped in the house for about 5 days. And I think that's partly why I feel like this is the longest day of, or the longest month of my life. I'm not sure otherwise, except that January just always seems to kind of drag on. Do you guys feel that way too? All good things. Did a lot of crafting, spent some time this month finishing my dad's quilt, went on a crafty weekend with girlfriends to celebrate a birthday, did some knitting, did a lot of cross stitching. I sort of stuck to the plan. And I stitched every day, and I've been using my lovely planner from Katie, the Naptime Stitcher. I'm enjoying that. I'm going to jump right in and just show you all the things that I've been up to. And I think I will start with an FFO. This is Snowman Quaker from the Camping Stitcher. And I think I've been stitching on this for like 2 years, even though it's tiny, because I wanted to make it my snow day stitch. And since we were finally trapped in with snow and ice, I was able to finish this. And it turned out so cute. I stitched it on a piece of, oh, I'm sorry, there's a little thread on it. I stitched it on a piece of limited edition color and cotton Lugana, which is, I believe it's 32 count. And then on the back, I used just some striped fabric that I had in stash, a little bit of wool to cover my my little split in the fabric, and then I used a charm that I got from a friend with a snowflake and some buttons, and I just love how he turned out. So cute. Now, I wish we had just had all snow. That would have been super fun. The ice made it near impossible to travel for several days, so it felt great to be able to bust out of the house again, and life back to normal has resumed. There is still a little bit of snow I can see in the backyard on some of the roofs and in the areas where, like on the side yard over here where it's shady. So that's funny. It's been warm. It's warmed back up and then it cooled back off again. So it would warm up past freezing and then it would go back down to freezing. So that made the ice even worse, as you know. Okay, so I'm gonna pop in a picture of my dad's quilt. Actually, I'll pop in a couple of pictures. I'm super proud of this. It turned out so great. I didn't really use a pattern on this quilt. I just did like a patchwork quilt, but the fabric I used was the Prairie Gatherings Flannels by Primitive Gathering. Sorry, I wanted to get all that right. That was a mouthful. So I love this line, and every time they release some of these, I like to stitch with the flannel, and I think they make great quilts. It's a thicker, of course, material, but I've had good luck making quilts out of the flannel, and I've enjoyed it, so I wanted to make one for my dad. I was trying to get it finished for Christmas. Let's just say he got it before the snowstorm, okay? So it was perfect timing. I delivered it to him on Friday. The day that the day that it started sleeting and getting icy. So that morning we had to go to the eye doctor. So I had, let's see, details. Besides the fact that I didn't really use a pattern for this, I just did patchwork. I used the charm pack, of course, and then I added a border around it with the fabric that I also used on the back of the quilt. And then I had Louita Wasmond with Geek Plus Quilting do the long arming, and she asked me, does your dad have any hobbies, or is there anything that you had in mind for, you know, quilting this? And I said trucks immediately, because my dad and I, I of course have bonded over the years over cars. He's always been a car fanatic. He likes to renovate cars and spend time in the garage. He's had lots of antiques over the years. Spent a lot of time with him out in the shop myself, working on different things. And he did auto body repair for many years, but then he's just now, he just dabbles in, he's actually renovating a 60. Oh, I'm going to get it wrong. It's either a 65 fastback or a 66. Oh gosh, Dad, you're going to be mad at me that I don't know this. He's fixing up an older Mustang. He has all kinds of other projects around waiting in the wings, including a 55. I'm going to get all these years wrong now. I'm going to fail my test. Anyway, Dad sends me a truck every morning, a different Ford truck. And that's kind of how we start out the day, and we say good morning and talk about coffee and whatever else. And so the quilt needed trucks. It needed trucks. So I thought it lent itself well, and it turned out super cute. So hopefully it kept him warm, still keeping him warm as we're still having our winter. Our winter finally arrived. So yay for that. Okay. What else? What else did I do? Did I have any other finishes? I did have another finish, and I do have another FFO. Let me show this other FFO real quick. This is Joy to the World by Emily Call, and I stitched it on a piece of 32 count night sky linen by Fiber on a Whim with my own color conversion. And then Michelle and I found this frame ready-made at the Peanut Gallery, so I just popped it in the frame myself, and it had been sitting there, and I had the frame, so I decided it was time to just go on ahead and FFO that. So I got more than my goal of 2 pieces FFO'd in the month of January, because I also finished Michelle's piece. As far as stitching, I did have another finish, but I haven't FFO'd this yet because I'm trying to decide how I want to do it. So this is the January monthly weigh-in from Stitching with the Housewives. And it's a series that has a scale. Did I bring that down here? Hold, please. I brought it down from upstairs. It's a cute little paisleys and polka dot piece that you put together as a little kit, and it comes with all the pieces, and then you paint it. And I finished this one with the magnets and washers, the way that Priscilla was Stitching with the Housewives shows how to do her FFOs. And then it has a cute little month and then there's a doodad. Pretend there's a doodad that's a pumpkin that sits up here that's wooden as well. So I got the whole kit for this, and I had painted and finished the quarter. It must have been September, October, November, December. Those 4 pieces. And then I have the rest of them, but I haven't painted them or finished them yet. So I don't even remember what it is for. It's probably a snowman. Or is it a bird? I don't remember. Anyway, they're themed per month. And I'm struggling because I'm struggling to get all of these FF stitched. They're pretty stitch heavy. They're heavier stitched than, more densely stitched than I thought. So it took a bit longer to stitch this than I had anticipated. So I initially said, whenever I did the September one, that I was gonna re-stitch the little like month plaque and change it to say fall. Well, never got around to that. And now I don't even know if I have any more of this fabric. I don't think I saved enough to stitch winter or January. So I don't know. Do you think it would be okay without it and just put the doodad up on top of the scale? because that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. You want to know what I stitched this on. This is a Color and Cotton limited edition Lugana. So it didn't have a name, 32 count. And no, excuse me, 28 count. Is that true? Those X's look pretty large. I'm pretty sure these are on 28 count because I wanted to stitch them where they were all on the same count. But I'm sitting here looking at this questioning whether or not they are or not. And I also noticed something, and I doubt you'll notice it, but a critical eye would probably notice that I used a couple of different whites in this piece. And I don't know why. I think it's because I substituted the called for bamboo and then I didn't make notes about what I did. And then I ran out of bamboo and then I probably also ran out of the other white. So yeah, I guess that's okay though, right? I'm not going back now, that's for sure. Otherwise, I used the called for colors on this, and I think I'm probably going to use either a blue or a red gingham check behind it, so it'll be like this one. That's what I'm thinking. So maybe after I finish filming, maybe tomorrow, I will FFO this. I'd like to get it up. And since I didn't stitch the January monthly plaque, I can just keep displaying it, right, until winter's over. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking if I didn't identify it with a monthly marker that I could keep it up longer because I can't stitch one of these a month. It's just not happening. Not with all my other assignments. Okay. I used the called for colors aside from the white. Did I tell you that? I don't know. I'm out of sync, out of practice. I told you it's been 987 days in this month. So that means it's been 987 days since I filmed a Flosstube. It sure feels that way. Okay, let me set this aside and try not to create a crash. And ordinarily, I would show you these at the end, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep showing you finished objects. Finished objects. Okay, so I've been on a knitting journey. I have a cup here, so I'll just stick this on here, even though this isn't the right kind of cup. So I've been on a knitting journey, as you know, and I want to make knit socks. So I made a couple hats, and then I started knitting this cup cozy so that I could check gauge, and also this would essentially be like the same kind of thing that you would do at the top of a sock. So it would help me determine like size for my own socks. Does that make sense? I'm not a knitter. I guess I am now, but I'm still learning. So I don't have all the knitting lingo. But anyway, I made this little cup cozy and finished it, and I just blocked it, and need to check and see if I made gauge. I think I did. And then I can start doing some socks next. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm so thirsty today. I think I'm parched because the heater has been running nonstop. So besides working on the quilt and cross stitch and knitting while we were at our sew day weekend, I worked on some bags. So I wanted to show you these cutie patootie little bags. This is the strawberry block from the Lori Holt Farm Girl Vintage book. And I used just scraps. My friend Michelle so generously brought a bunch of red scraps, and then I actually had green scraps on my own. I think I might have mixed in some of my own red scraps too. But anyway, put together this cute little strawberry, and then I finished it into a bag this week. Not everything can happen at in one sitting. I finished a somewhat patriotic themed bag that had been sitting, and it was in timeout because I think I had cut something wrong. I think it was the lining or something. Yeah, it was the lining because I ended up having to piece it. Don't look close. I always tattle on myself. So this was a fun little patriotic bag, and I want to start some patriotic stitches. Here we are in the 250th year birthday of our country. So I want to participate in that a little bit. And then I made this cute little Valentine bag. And I think it turned out super cute. I don't remember fabric details. I know this is a Sweetwater line, and I'll pop the fabric details in the show notes. Same thing with this one, because it's been a while since I patched that together. Yep, don't remember it all. But it turned out super cute. Oh, do you want to see the inside? I used cute little hearts. That's also from the line as well. Ooh, I love it so much. It's so cute. And of course, I'm using the Lori Holt zippers. I like those a lot. They come in so many great colors, and I like the fact that they have 2 zippers, and the zipper is a really nice quality. I'm a zipper snob. Okay, so let's talk about cross stitch some more. I think I broke my rule January 1. Remember, I said I really wanted to finish 2 projects before I started one in 2026. But my friends were doing a sale, and they wanted to start on January 1st. So I broke the rule right out of the gate. But I promise I'm going to stick to it after this, okay? So we kitted up Blueberry J from Jed X Stitch, and Michelle and I kitted it up with the Roxy Flossco conversion flosses, which are super fun, and we split these. So that made it, you know, a little bit more cost efficient, and they're super fun in bright colors. Oh my gosh. We were so excited to start this with our friends Krista, the Wildflower Stitcher, and Brooke, Stitch by the Brook, as well as Michelle, making it with Michelle. So Jan 1, we kicked this off, and actually Michelle came over and we got to stitch on it a little bit together. So I'm stitching mine on the called for Malachite by Fiber on a Whim in 32 count. And then, like I said, with the Roxy Floss Co. flosses. And it's turning out great. It's gonna be super fun. But I was being good. I started on it and I got a decent start on it, and then I put it away because I had so many things that I really wanted to finish. And I got a little derailed with snow day stitching, but that was good because, like I said, that one whip had been hanging around for at least 2 years. So we don't get a lot of snow around here. I worked on the elk quite a bit. Let's see. Katie's Katie's planner I really love because she has a tracker, and you can mark off for your whips like how many days you stitched on what. And so I like that because you can just quickly look at it and count it up. So I spent 10 days on the elk, which is from the book Wild Animals of North America, designs by Gloria and Pat. And I got so cracked up because this is American Elk is what it's called. My friend Caitlin, a Stitch for Mom, she messaged me. I guess she saw this. I posted it on Instagram, or maybe she watched Flosstube, and she was like, I stitched that elk and also the moose, I think is what she said. And so I was like, I want to see. So she sent me pictures of those. So that was really fun. So I've kept this in the hoop. I have gotten all of the bottom page complete, and then I've started up on the top page. So up here is where I'm on the second page. Now, I was very distracted in January, so I didn't stitch on this too much, but I got the bottom finished, and that felt like quite an accomplishment. I mean, this thing is almost full coverage, It's so dense, you know, there are a few blank spots, but not very many within the landscape part of the piece. So I'm stitching it on 32 count Cypress by Fiber on a Whim with the called for DMCs. So here are those, and they're lovely and they're really fun. There's a little bit of this purple color. I'm not sure if that's showing up. I have so much light flooding into the room. I probably need to be using a board of some sort. Here we go. So there's a little bit of that lavender. It's going to be super fun. Will has been checking on me, and I do need to really get back to that and focus on it more in February. I don't really have, now that Christmas is over and I missed the deadline for having it stitched for Christmas, I guess the next thing would be, I don't think it's going to get stitched for Valentine's Day, but maybe, I mean, for his birthday for sure. His birthday's in August. Okay, so at the beginning of end of the year, first of the year, I was thinking about goals and different projects and things I wanted to focus on. And one of the whips I had that was making me feel super guilty was pandemic, just because I didn't stitch on it as much as I had like set out to stitch on it in 2025. So far this year, I have touched this every single day. Every morning I've gotten up and I've put in one strand. So this is my one strand a day progress, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm stitching this on a piece of Mystery overdyed Ada that's 20 count, and I'm using DMC number 29. Let me make sure I'm telling you the truth on that. Yes, DMC 29, that pretty eggplant purple. So let me see if I can zoom you in really good. I am nearing a second page finish on this, which is so exciting. And I've been able to accomplish that just with stitching literally one strand a day. So I've started the morning every morning with just one strand. It feels so good to put some progress in on this. And I did some calculating, and I think if I keep this up that I actually, because this was a leap day start, and I think that if I keep this up, I can finish it in the 4-year timeline, which is now, I guess, just 2 years. You guys, I have thread and needle and all kinds of stuff hanging off of me. Good grief. That was from the Elk Project. I'm a hot mess. Welcome to my show. So, very glad to be making progress on pandemic. Did I say that's from Long Dog Samplers? I don't think I did. Also didn't show you the front of the chart. Does everybody know what it looks like by now? I feel like you probably do, but just in case. I did also record a whip parade, and I posted it like the day after I posted my regular December recap video. So I don't know. I don't think it got pushed out as much as the videos typically would. I've learned my lesson and I won't do that again. But I don't know. Maybe people are like, boring. We don't want to see that. We've already watched your whip parade. I did do a mid-year whip parade in June or July last year. And what I did differently in this whip parade, though, the one that I recorded in January, you know, the month it's gone on and on and on. It feels like it's been a decade ago. I did like a really quick speed run. So if you don't like to sit through really super long whip parades, it's a quick one. And then you can go and see everything that is hanging over my head in a good way. All the whips. Okay. So, going out of order now. I'm just going with whatever is next on the pile. Boy, this stuff is a mess. I am stitching St. Patrick's Day Quaker from Primrose Cottage. And this was a stitch along with Melissa. And she beat me to the finish line. But I picked this up, and I'll tell you the truth. I picked this up because I thought, oh, I could get this finished before St. Patrick's Day and display it this year. But then I got off on the Snowman Quaker, so I didn't actually finish it, but I think I can finish it in February. So it's coming along, and it doesn't use a lot of floss. And it's stitching, and I'm stitching it on 28 count Monaco. So it's nice large stitches. I think this is just that coffee tea dyed. Is that what it's called? From Charles Craft? I think it's just called tea dyed. Anyway, a mix of called for colors and what I had in stash. Some of them are the coloring cottons. Some of them are the DMCs. And the light green was supposed to be aloe, and I substituted Classic Colorworks Weeping Willow, which is this one. I really love this green. This is like one of my very favorite greens. Weeping Willow. This is how I live my life, y'all. Floss going everywhere. But if I feel like if I spend all my time cleaning, then there's no time left for crafting. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. I don't think that was even in a project bag. Oh, the dog wants out. The other project that I picked up that was a current whip that I really want to finish. This is my anniversary sampler, and I feel like this is a good like February piece. I think I needed a break from the elk, and so I just picked this up, and that was before I got detoured on the snow day stuff. So this is Love Never Fails by Barbara Anna Designs, and I'm stitching it on a piece of, what is this? I think it's biscuit. I think I previously said it was old stationery from Seraphim, but I think it's really biscuit. 32 count biscuit. And it's still in the hoop. And this is cumbersome to hold. Here we go. So I had already stitched the star and the flowers. Is that true? I think I had stitched the flowers, and then I added the stems, and then the bird was already stitched, and then I started on her. And so I'm going to tell you the truth. The colors on her skin are kind of odd, and they were coming out really creepy whenever I only had like her eyes and not her skin filled in. Her skin is really pale, but I think it looks good. I was really questioning it at first. I'm stitching this with the called for flosses, and substituted black coffee for the black. Otherwise, I think they're all the called for colors. So I think I'm happy with it. I went ahead and just kept going and filled in her skin. And when you look at it from a distance, I think it looks good. So sometimes I feel like you just have to keep in mind, like, you're not going to be looking at it like this, you know? I think. I'm listening for those doggies. It's too cold to leave the door open, but I haven't heard them come back yet. So lastly, I got out Peacemaker. Remember this, guys? And I don't know really what possessed me to do this, except that I was talking about it in my whip parade, and I want to stitch on this for Lent again. And I was trying to reduce the amount of confetti stitching that I was doing. So I had some floss, and I wanted to see how it was going to work out. So I picked this up again. This is Work of Heart Peacemaker by Teresa Kogut. And if you've been watching me for a while, this was my Lent stitch last year, and I made a lot of good progress on her face. So I picked this up and I started working on her wing. And I'm stitching this on a piece of Cranberry Crush Ada, which I think is 16 count, I'm pretty sure. I am using 2 strands of floss with all of the called for DMCs, except for now that I've gotten to her wings. Let me see if I can zoom you in. Can you see that little bit of like sort of confetti looking stitching? I had a skein of this floss. Isn't this fun? I think it's a little brighter white than my halo. It definitely is, but I think I'm liking it. This is called Rainfall, and it is hand dyed by Rowling, and I got this in a Black Needle Society box, and I thought, okay, this has like that confetti look without me having to like go in and do all those little tiny confetti stitches. So I think this is gonna work. Opinions? What do you guys think? It's definitely brighter white than the halo. Like this was what was supposed to be mixed in this part of the wings with those little bits of confetti, like the pink and the blue and the yellow, etc. But I think I like it and I'm gonna call it good enough. And then I'm going to find a color for her shirt that is, I was actually pulled out Hot Springs from Coloring Cotton. It's this. And so I think it's very similar. Can you see that DMC down there? To the DMC that's called for it, but instead of doing again, like a bunch of outlining and confetti stitching, I'll just use the Hot Springs. So I think that's gonna work. I'm excited to pick it back up. I think I need to go let the dogs in. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that concludes all of the cross stitch as well. Let me check my notes really quick and make sure I showed you all the things. I think that leads us to plans. So like I mentioned, in February, Lent starts. Ash Wednesday is February 18th this year. So I will get started back on the Lent stitch. Now, I have committed to doing 1 strand a day on Pandemic, and I'm going to keep doing that. And I'm also then going to do 1 strand a day during the Lent season on Peacemaker. I may work on it a little bit more than that just because I've finally reached a point of like fill, and so it's not so much counting and it's not so much you know, tedious stitching. So that's kind of nice. And I need a project like that because in the evening when I'm sitting on my couch and I want to watch a show and I don't want to have to count or focus too much, it's nice to have something that doesn't require so much brain power. So that will be plans for Lent. And then I want to do a little Valentine something. So I had 3 finishes in January, 2 of which were on my WIP list from 2025. So I'm allowed to start something. And I was looking around and thinking about decor, and like I like to focus on some smalls. I have a ton of like big old WIPs going, and I want to focus on those, so I don't want to spend too much time on little smalls. But I thought maybe I could do 1 Valentine and finish up the St. Patrick's Day Quaker, and then I need to spend some time on the elk, and I want to work on Love Never Fails some more. I don't think it's possible to get a finish on that in a month, but one of the other small WIPs that I was working on from last year, which is kind of I guess Valentine-ish, is My Heart's Design by Blackbird. Blanco, come here. Come here, buddy. Blanco came in and he decided he wants someone to hang out with him. He's gonna have to wait a minute. So My Heart's Design by Blackbird. I will work on that a little bit. And I do think it's possible to get a finish on that. So, we're back to school and the snow day threw everything off. So we took some time off. You know, I felt like we were just barely getting back into the swing of things from the Christmas break. And then we had the snow situation. So, I don't know. I feel like everything is a little crazy, but it'll settle down. Please tell me. Is that what life is like? Just a series of telling yourself next month will be better. Hopefully though, it really will feel a bit more like we're back to our regular routine. Okay. Reading. Do you want to talk about reading? December rolled around and I realized I really hadn't read that many books. So I was like, you know what's missing is audiobooks. And so I downloaded a couple audiobooks. I ended up listening to the rest of, I think I was telling you last month, I was listening to Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. And that was really good. But it did have a twist that I wasn't quite expecting. I guess maybe I could see the twist was coming in a way. It was a little bit woven in there, but I just listen to it. You'll know what I'm talking about. It was really good though. I do recommend it, and I really liked it. It kept me very entertained. And I loved that it was read by Meryl Streep. She's awesome. Top notch. I told you I was reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and I finished that. And so then I started Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And I was telling you guys, if you haven't read the Harry Potter series, which, are you living under a rock? You should. I've read it before. I just wanted to read it again. Will's reading them now too. And so I think that's just awesome. So we can talk about them and chat. And it's just different reading it versus watching the movies. And we've watched the movies 1,000 times too, but it's really fun to read the books. So, and it's a real book. The other book that I am listening to now on audio is, I listened to it. Now I'm on my third audiobook since for the month of January. Yeah, is that true? So, I told you it's been 987 days. Okay, so on my Libby app from Audible, I downloaded and listened to the third book of the Thursday Murder Club series called The Bullet That Missed. And now I've started the fourth book, which is The Last Devil to Die. And this is a fun series. Like, it's getting like a little deeper with the character development. There's a little bit of romance sprinkled in now in these two books. These last two, the third and the fourth book, I should say. Of course, there's still another murder to solve. So it's a fun series. The characters are quirky. They're British. Their humor is just a little bit different. But I've enjoyed listening to the audiobook too, because the way the lady has a British accent, and so she's just pronouncing things differently than I did in my head, which is totally fine. I know that messes some people big time, but it didn't really bother me. So I'm listening to The Last Devil to Die now, as well as reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So I'll usually, like, during the day listen to my audiobook, and then at night before bed I'll read a chapter in my old-fashioned hard copy book. So that's by my bedside. So that's what's going on reading wise. While we were on our snow day break, because we were literally trapped in the house, we couldn't go anywhere. My husband was home all that time too. So come here, Blanc. Okay. Pumpkin's getting a little attention, sort of. It's kind of like being in air jail. I love this little dog. Don't get me wrong. He's a stinker though. Oh, Bingo's getting jealous. Just a minute, okay, buddy? Just a minute. I'm almost done. So while we were on snow day break, snowed in, iced in, I don't know how to say it anymore. My husband was like, we need a new show. So we started watching The Pit, which I guess it's gotten a whole bunch of awards. He was like, we should give this a try. We have, we've been avidly watching Grey's Anatomy. I don't remember when it was. Several years ago, I hurt my back. And so I was laid up. And so I told him, I was like, I want to watch Grey's Anatomy. So we caught up 20 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. And I thought my husband, I was surprised that he stuck with it, but because, you know, the plot gets a little bit redundant after that many seasons. But we've enjoyed it. And so he was like, let's watch The Pit because I think it'll be, you know, similar as far as like an ER drama. And so it's really good, but I'm going to just tell you that it's intense and I cannot binge watch that show because one episode is so excitement filled and like intense, and like I just sit there and think about all those doctors and nurses and how in the world do people really do that job like in real life. It seems unfathomable that people can have that much patience and endurance and I don't know, not just fall over from being so tired. I guess you're running on adrenaline a lot. But it's been good. So that's the one, if you don't already know, it's the one with Noah Wiley. So, and he was in ER back in the day. Is that right? I never watched that. But I know friends did. And that was before I got into, I guess, doctor traumas. Yeah, The Pit's been good. So that's the other thing we've been watching. I was trying to think of what else has been going on, or there's no haul to show. I was very good. Michelle and I did kit up Cherry Magpie, but we haven't seen each other well, we saw each other over the craft weekend, but we hadn't gotten she hadn't gotten the package yet from Roxy Floss Co. So I'll show you that kit next time and we'll pick a date. I don't know, we were thinking maybe summertime for a start along on that Cherry Magpie. Maybe birthdays? I don't know. Summer. We'll be seeing Krista and Brooke again, I think in June or July for a retreat. So maybe we'll start it then. I've started stickering my calendar, but I haven't been putting like all the important dates in it yet. I'm not always good at that. Oh, it's July. I did put it in there. So maybe we'll start that in July. That would probably be good. Yeah, so I'm pushing for some more finishes and I guess that's all. I will look forward to seeing you guys at the end of February, if January ever ends. Happy stitching. See you later, friends.